This is the Tiger Sport 660 from Triumph, and previously I reviewed the Trident 660, and the reason why I mentioned those two in the same sentence is because the Tiger Sport 660 is actually very similar in many ways. They have the same 660cc inline triple engine, and this is one of the most comfortable bikes I've been on so far. It's very comfortable to ride, and it just looks really good as well. This can be classed as a sports touring bike or adventure bike, so you can ride for longer, get comfortable, and if you're commuting a lot, you're doing cross country or whatever, this could be one of the best ones to actually look out for. And it's reasonably priced as well, just under £9,000 starting. And then when you start adding all the extras, it will add up and be a little bit more. It comes in this blue color that we've got in here. It's also available in red and I think a gray color as well. I think the red might be my favorite one. The blue's not too bad, but I've seen the red and I think it's actually quite nicer. Let's talk about the design and we can point out some of the differences between this and the Trident. So if you're looking to get one of these, straight away you know what the differences will be. Starting with the front, we have this big fairing on the front, which is something we don't see on the Trident. So this allows the wind to cut through as well, which is good for when you're going to be riding for a long period of time. You don't want that wind hitting your face. We also have this windshield here, which is also easily adjustable, like so. So you can pull it or push it down if you wish to do so. So when you have it down, you still get a bit of wind that hits your helmet, but if you want it to hit your helmet less, then you want to raise that all the way up. And we have LED lights and daylight running lights as well, which looks really good. We have LED indicator lights over there as well. We have upside down shockers, so these are 41mm. And then we have 2-piston Nissan calipers and also 310mm twin brake discs on the front, which are very strong as well, works really well, it's nice and big. Over to the side, we have steel tubular frames. As you can see there, we have a longer swing arm as well on this one compared to the Trident. And we have a monoshock shower on the back there preload. So you can also adjust it using this little rotator thing here. So you can adjust the preload on that. But for a single rider, I think Triumph have done a good job at keeping that really nice and sturdy, and it's just nice as it is anyway, especially for me. I think it was completely fine. As far as the seats go, they're very comfortable as well. You got a bigger space for your pillion, so they can sit comfortably well as well. You got your foot peg on the back there, so they can sit comfortably well. They have grab handles on the back as well, and if we look closely on here, we can actually attach some more accessories on there. So like your casing, you can add them on there. On the sides, you can add another one on the big area on the back here as an accessory. So with that, it can become a proper touring bike, which means you take it on the road with a full-size helmet in there. You can put some clothing or whatever you want to put, snacks. You can load them up in there as you wish to do so. In terms of seating height, we are looking at 835mm sitting height, and I'm about 5'11", so I can fully flat foot on this as well, so which is really good. The handlebars are quite taller, they're wider as well, and they're quite closer to the driver. And all that means for you is when you're riding, this feels nice and comfortable. You sat upright, and they've lowered the area down here as well for the footing, so that way you can actually have a better knee room and you're not cramped as much as you would normally be. So that way you can actually sit in this position for longer periods of time. Of course, you can get other accessories as well, maybe aftermarket ones maybe, to make it a bit more comfortable. Maybe you can stretch when you're riding, for example. But I think as far as comfortability goes, this is really nice. And you got a bigger tank as well for fuel. This is 17.2 litres of fuel tank in here, which would do around, I've been getting around 50 miles per gallon, which is pretty decent. I've had it now for about a month. So yeah, we have all the controls on here, including mode, your indicator. So indicator is self-cancelling as well. So if you tap it for longer, indicates once you finish indicating or turning, sorry, that would adjust itself, which is really nice. And the menus are really easy to get on with. This particular version doesn't come with the extras, so things like your heated grips, I don't get that on this version here, but you can get that as extra. You can get the Bluetooth connectivity as well for phone calls, listen to music on the go. You can get that as well. One thing that I think this is missing is cruise control. So if it's going to be a proper touring bike, it would have been nice if they had cruise control added or as an extra for this, so it reduces that fatigue if you're going to be riding for a long period of time. On the screen in front of us, everything's very straightforward as well. You got your screen to display rev counter, the speed, and what gear you're in. And you also have a smaller TFT monitor on there to allow you to change settings, and you get all your warning lights area as well on there, so you can see what's happening at any time. It's very straightforward, very easy to use, and it's just a true testament to what this bike is all about. Being easy to use, comfortable to ride, and it's just really nice. On the back, we have our number plate here. Obviously, we have the indicator light and brake lights and stuff all there. And this is really nice. I love how the brake tail light is. It's very snazzy and sporty looking as well. I think some people might end up modifying this and taking this off and maybe moving it over there, for example, so you get a nicer suspended area. But I think as a default, it looks really good. I just can't say much about the back area, but I think it's really good. I think overall, it's a really nicely designed motorbike. So on this little TFT monitor here, we can change and look around as well. So if I scroll across, we have brightness, so we can change the monitor's brightness. Keep going, we have service interval, we have temperature gauge, we have our fuel status, trip data, so trip 1 and trip 2, etc. We can then go into main menu. In main menu, we can have a look at our riding modes. In riding modes, we have rain and road. So the traction control will be different in terms of the way they respond. So that's what you do there. So you got rain, so ABS, your mapping and traction controls. And then if you're going to road, we can have a look as well. So ABS is always going to be on road settings. Your mapping will be on road now, so you get different character. And then traction control is also road there as well. So we go back out. And there we go, bike setup, so you can change things like your indicators, the way they work in terms of self-cancellation, your traction control, you can enable or disable it regardless of which drive mode you got it in or ride mode, which is pretty cool. And then you got service menu, go back out, you got trip setup, display setup, this is where you can change brightness, what's visible, shift indicator, language, and so on. And you can restore to default as well. So like I said, pretty straightforward, pretty easy to get on with and play around with it and see which one you need. Also, the exhaust sounds really good and the engine as well. So let me put it on. If there's anything on the design that I've got issues with is when I'm getting on and off this, because the back area is quite high up. So what happens is when I'm trying to go, I have to raise my leg up really high up to actually get over that bit there. But if there's an easier way to do it, let me know in the comments below. But for me, that's quite high up and it can become quite uncomfortable.
All right, so we are on the road in the Tiger Sport 660 and this is a very lovely bike to ride. It looks fantastic. And like I was saying during the design phase of this video, we spoke about how the handlebars are wider, the higher is closer, much closer to the rider, so it's closer to me. It feels really good. It means I feel nice and comfortable on this. The seats are nice and soft and comfortable as well. Some stats out the way, this is 80 horsepower at 10,250 RPM. You have 64 Newton meters of torque. It's not very torquey, even in lower gears, which is fine. It's not meant to be that kind of bike. This is meant to be a very comfortable bike. Visibility is great. I love the way the handlebars are raised up as well. It just makes it feel very, very connected to the road, which I really like. In terms of weight, this is not a heavy bike at all in my opinion. I think even someone the size of me, I'm 5'11", I can easily maneuver this bike with no issues at all. In terms of ride quality, I'm going over speed bumps and riding around town and stuff like that. It's really nice and comfortable. It's very, very, it's very good in terms of it doesn't affect your manhood area too much, which is nice, especially when going over those speed bumps. One of the things as well is I love the self-cancelling indicator lights. It means you don't have to worry as much. You know, you can concentrate on your driving. You don't have to worry too much about, have I cancelled my signals, which is one of the things that annoyed me during my test actually, one of the things during my lessons when I was learning to ride a bike. It was quite annoying to keep forgetting. So it's nice to have that self-cancelling indicator lights then. But back to the ride quality, as you can probably hear the engine going off. You can stay in some of these gears, like you can, honestly, you get it up to your third gear and you can just ride that third gear around town. It's just nice. You don't have to go all the way up at all, which is really cool, which is really nice. But if you do end up going on the motorway or anything like dual carriageway where you need a bit more speed, you can just crank this up and you get nice speed throughout the rev range as well. So it's not just at the start of when you put the throttle, roll the throttle and you think, oh, this is that all. It just keeps giving and giving and giving, which is really nice. So I think it's a superb bike. It's very easy to ride, easy to get on with. It's not too heavy, although I haven't been riding it around with some of the accessories that are available. So that might, obviously that will add extra weight onto the bike. But generally, I think it's really nice and comfortable to ride. It fills you with confidence. It's very agile. It's very nimble as well. You can just point it. It goes where you need to go. Even when you need to turn, you know, if you were someone who's still new to riding bikes and you're scared or worry about turning and stuff with the weight of the bike, this is nothing to worry about at all with the Tiger Sport 660. really lovely bike, and it sounds really good. It's obviously the men's not so naked sibling of the Trident 660. So the Trident is not something that I would probably buy for longer touring, regular commuting, that kind of stuff. I probably wouldn't get that one. I'd probably get this one if that's something that I do more often. So that's something to bear in mind. And as for the brakes, I think the brakes are really good as well. The back brakes, the front brakes, both really good. I tend to use the back brake a lot just riding around town, and they work really well. They're very responsive, no concerns there at all. So that's a big advantage and something again to fill you with confidence. The clutch is great as well. I love that you don't have to depress the clutch so hard to shift your gears. You can just slightly press it, engage, and you're good to go. There are some accessories, like I was saying, that you can buy for this, including a quick shifter as well. So you can get a quick shifter to make things a lot easier for you on the road. Might make you feel a bit more sportier. But yeah, this feels sporty in general as well. Although again, this is not a sports bike, but it does feel very sporty. The fairing and the front add to that styling and helps as well to cut through air. Ambulance. We have picked a busy route to head off and test ride this today. But yeah, I think overall excellent bike. I think it's reasonably priced as well, comfortable to ride. Looks stylish, especially in a red, in my opinion. Easy to get on with, big, very economical as well in terms of, you got big tank in terms of 17.2 liters of tank, good level of torque, nice and linear when you put your foot down. Well, when you roll the throttle, it just goes really nice. And when we're riding around town, you can stay on like your third gear and just cruise around. It's really nice, really nice. I love it.